What if I told you that working full-time in Alberta could still leave you $16 an hour short just to survive? Alberta says it's one of the most affordable places to live in Canada. But in 2024, the gap between the minimum wage and the living wage reached as high as $16.40 an hour. Let's talk about why Alberta's affordability claim doesn't hold up and why workers are paying the price. Alberta's minimum wage has been frozen at $15 an hour since 2019. But in 2024, the living wage, as in how much you need to cover basics like food, rent, transportation, and childcare, ranged from $17.55 to $31.40 in Alberta, depending on the region. The gap between the minimum wage and the wage you need to survive was as high as $16.40 per hour. Put bluntly, Alberta's minimum wage does not cover the basics, not anywhere in the province. Earlier this June, the press secretary for the Ministry of Jobs, Economy, Trade and Immigration said that Alberta remains one of the most affordable provinces to call home, with lower taxes and more money in the pockets of hardworking individuals and families. End quote. But here's the reality. The average living wage in Alberta is nearly identical to Ontario's. The only difference is that Ontario's minimum wage is $2 higher. So Alberta's claim is not true. Okay, what about taxes? Alberta is often praised for having no provincial sales tax and low income tax rates. But if you earn minimum wage in Alberta, which gives you about $31,000 per year, working full-time hours, you actually pay 10% provincial income tax, leaving you with about $28,000 after tax. In Ontario, a minimum wage worker earning the same amount pays only 5.5% of provincial tax, leaving them with $29,600. That's $1,600 more in take-home pay in Ontario for the same job. But let's remember, it's still not enough to live off in either province. So the idea that Alberta's tax system puts more money in workers' pockets is simply not true, especially not for the lowest paid workers. Alberta's low minimum wage doesn't save workers money, it costs them. It puts more pressure on families and social supports. The 2024 provincial minimum wage data shows us some trends. Today, more minimum wage earners in Alberta have university degrees. The number creeped up by 3% in just 1 year. So no, wages that don't rise with inflation don't make Alberta more affordable. They're keeping people stuck. There aren't enough jobs that pay fairly. And the promise that Alberta is a place where you keep more of what you earn, it only works if you earn enough to begin with. Alberta hasn't raised its minimum wage in 6 years. And while prices rise, the people at the bottom are standing still. So the real question isn't really, should we raise the minimum wage? It's this: what kind of economy are we building, and who gets to thrive in it?